So welcome, my friend, to Resilience Alchemy and the S.U.R.F.E.R.S method. This is going to be a video series that has an overview of all of the major physical practices that correspond with the 8 modules in my course. My name is Deanne Gaia, and I'm so glad that you're here joining me. This course has really been a labor of love for me, and a labor of love that really started when I was 4 years old, and I was with my mom, and it was my first introduction to the world of exercise, and my mom and I would be doing exercises along with Jack LaLanne in his chair. We'd be sitting there and moving our leg back and forth and doing our plies, and he would talk about the importance of fitness and nutrition, and that really planted the seed for me as a 4-year-old girl. And I went on to become a gymnast, so physical fitness was always super important to me. But what really struck me was years later when I was 28 years old and I was working at the White House Athletic Center, and one of the first events that I attended as a staffer was the beginning of Physical Fitness and Sports Month, and it was on the west lawn of the White House, and there were all sorts of dignitaries there. But who was the most exciting person that I saw there that day? It was Jack LaLanne. And there he was in his signature blue suit, just like I had seen him on our television way back in 1966, 67. And now it was almost 1990, and he didn't look much different. I ran over to him. I said, "Jack, I did exercise with you and my mom as a little girl, and you look fantastic." He said, "Well, I feel fantastic." And he dropped down and he did literally 12 perfect one-arm push-ups. And it really hit me that, like, this is what physical fitness can do for you. If you take care of your body and your mind and your spirit, you can age optimally, and you can do so many things. Even as you age chronologically, you can still be very capable. So that's really what started the seed for me physically. And then the other piece of it is more emotional and mental and spiritual, and it had to do with me trying to deal with some losses in my life, significant ones, and it drew me to a meditation retreat with Jon Kabat-Zinn. And during that retreat, he said at one point, "You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf." And that really hit me. I just was like, okay, you know, I want to learn how to surf. I want to learn how, even though things happen in life that are difficult to deal with, I want to know how I can better handle those situations. So I went down the path of studying meditation and mindfulness-based meditation with Jon Kabat-Zinn, and some with Thich Nhat Hanh and some other teachers, and then yoga with Rolf Gates. And it really has all culminated in this program. And so what I'm here to do is share with midlife women. When I say midlife, it's really women anywhere from like 55 to 80. Age isn't so important. It's more of kind of the stage of life that they're in, where they have, you know, experienced a lot of life, and maybe their life right now is not as satisfactory as they'd like it. There are areas of their life, whether it's mental, physical, spiritual, family-oriented, whatever it might be, but something that they just feel this dissatisfaction with, and they want to learn how they can go inward and tap into these inner skills that will help them to handle any situation that life might bring them in a more graceful, adept, and confident way. And so that's what the program is for, and it's a small group program, so I really enjoy working with a small group, less than 10 women, so that you feel like you're not alone, number one, but you also have a lot of support from me, direct support, as well as group support, and we really, you know, customize the program to meet any needs you might have. So that's kind of the foundation. The S.U.R.F.E.R.S method, just to give you an overview, it is a process where each letter stands for a module in the course. So S is surrender and survey, U is unplug and understand, R is redefine and release, F is fill and fun, E is energize and exercise, R is rehearse and recognize, and S is synergize and surf. And so these steps are what I really see them as. It's a way of dealing with things, but it's not like where you have an end and a beginning. It's more of kind of like a spiral that you can use these tools anytime you need to. And if you're kind of in the program, say, and you're into week 3 or 4, and then all of a sudden something unexpected comes along and you need to kind of go back to the surrender and survey piece, that's what we do. So it really is a very fluid and flexible, adaptable model, because that's how life is, right? I think that so much in life right now is unpredictable, and so we need to have a flexible system or a way of working with things in order to deal with that. The other pieces that kind of go through each of the modules are practices based on the chakra system, which the chakra system is an energy system that starts at the base of the spine and then moves up and then out through the crown of the head. So there are 7 chakras, and then if we say 8, it's kind of above your head, and it goes from the most basic of human needs all the way up to self-actualization, and we go through foods that correspond with the chakras, we go through mantras that correspond, some physical positions, postures, yoga postures, practices to energize each one. And so that's a framework. And then we also talk about the 8 limbs of yoga, which correspond very nicely with the chakra system. So before we begin with the actual first module with practices, we first begin with mindset. Because if you don't have the proper mindset kind of going into the program, then it's going to make everything a little more challenging. So I came up with 7 key mindset shifts. So number 1 is your power is always in the present moment. So what I mean by that is that, what happened in the past, you can learn from the past, but you have no ability to alter that. What's going to happen in the future, your only point of influence really is how you're going to conduct yourself in the present. So that's why I say your power is always in the present moment. The second mindset shift is really looking back and saying to yourself, there are no mistakes in life, there are only lessons. So everything, every failure, every experience you ever had is really just purely information for you to then learn and grow from and then do things better in the future. So many people don't realize that even the most successful people have had so many failures that led up to their success. And so just framing it as there are no mistakes, there are only lessons. The next piece is that every moment is giving you, like every moment is a gift, and it's giving you a person, an experience, or a practice that you need in order to grow and evolve. So rather than looking at things like as a victim where things are happening to me, you're looking at everything as happening for you, for your growth, for your evolution. The next mindset shift is that every day you start with a blank canvas. And by that, I don't mean that you kind of throw away everything and you kind of run away from home or whatever. That's not what I mean. But what I do mean is that taking the mindset of, okay, you learn from your mistakes, say you didn't, stick to your New Year's resolutions if you set them. Oh well, so you learn what didn't work so well yesterday or the day before. Today, you have a new opportunity, a new 24 hours to do things completely differently and make choices that are more aligned with what you're looking to create. So that's what I mean by every day is a blank canvas. And then the sixth one is that we need to have a growth mindset, and the growth mindset is really just having this almost childlike quality to your being where you're just looking at everything with like open eyes and very present moment awareness, curiosity rather than judgment, and just really just an open-mindedness and open-heartedness and a softness to be willing to experience new things. And then the last mindset shift is that you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf, which is where my surfer's method came from. But having this idea that you are going to become more proficient at surfing the waves of life with greater ease and joy and skill the more you do it. And that's what this course is all about. So I can't wait to go on this adventure with you for the next 8 weeks and teach you all of these practices and get your experience going with all of this and get the group going. So great to have you here. I can't wait to see you as we begin the next module.